The views expressed, opinions given, and any communication made between the hosts and guests of What Are You Afraid of Horror and Paranormal Show do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Para-X Radio, EMC Network, or all services that play this show. The hosts and services are not responsible for the actions of their guests, and the original rights of all intellectual property is retained by the creator, and all work is used with either permission or Creative Commons license. The show is for entertainment purposes only. I'm horror author T. Fox Dunham.
And I'm horror author and filmmaker Phil Thomas.
And tonight we're asking you,
what are you afraid of? Philadelphia's horror home with hosts T. Fox Dunham and Phil Thomas.
Monsters of Summer.
Monsters of Summer.
We are the Monsters of Summer.
Yeah, you and I are.
We are.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
I like that too. That's, I think,
that's appropriate.
Especially when you dress up for halfway to Halloween, that makes you a monster.
Yes.
Going into summer.
Though people don't quite understand it on halfway to Halloween.
Yeah.
They get Halloween, but if you walk around in your Friday the 13th or a clown outfit with a machete, it's not going to work as well on halfway.
Yeah, the police get called.
The police do get called.
Yeah.
And you got to tell them it's halfway to Halloween.
And they'd be like, what the hell's that?
Yeah.
You know?
We have to start it now. We have to get it going. You know.
Now, for the record, I did not dress up for halfway to Halloween.
No, I did not either.
Yeah, I thought you did.
No.
See, I'm disappointed.
I know, I was too. But we've been busy. It's going to be summer soon.
Yeah, it's the first nice day we've had in a long time.
A couple of rainy, sucky days.
Yeah.
You're just lethargic. You don't want to do anything.
It's a necessary evil. We need the rain, but
we do.
It's better when we, Now I'm happy it's out of here though.
Me too.
And we had this beautiful day.
We're back to the 70s.
Yeah, it's 71 right now.
Yes, it is.
Low 70s, yeah.
This is the What Are You Afraid of weather report.
That's right.
We're just so happy it's summer.
And the people listening in other countries and other parts of our country don't care what we're talking about. Because it could be snowing there for all we know.
It's monsoon season in India, and they're over there and they're listening to the show going, "Screw you, Fox and Phil."
Monsoon season. Yeah.
But this is episode 118, Monsters of Summer, because summer's coming.
It sure is.
And it's a neat little episode. We've got a ghost story from Mark Nesbitt.
Okay.
In Gettysburg, from one of his books. Yeah. They're letting us record some of their stories. They're very kind.
Right.
And we have a sort of science fiction-y horror story that I did called Reality TV about when aliens come to the Earth and in exchange for saving us, they turn our planet into a reality television show. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? They have to capitalize somehow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always the big fear is that, like we commercialize Indonesia. We have basically made the third world population into a race of slaves that knit our jeans and shirts for pennies. You've got 5-year-olds working in factories.
I know.
And then one day, aliens are going to come and do it to us.
Yeah, you know what? And good for them.
Good for them.
Why not monetize our planet?
Why not?
For their own capital.
And then we'll need a pair of sunglasses that'll see them for what they are.
Oh yeah,
nice, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah,
John
we
Carpenter.
see them what they are. Yeah, they live.
Well, this is T. Fox Dunham,
and this is Phil Thomas,
and we are going to start today's episode 118, with a ghost story. This is part 1 of The Ghosts of Spring Avenue. From Mark Nesbitt in Gettysburg. Thank you, Mark. And this is episode 118, Monsters of Summer on Parax Radio, Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Check out our website at www.whatdoyoufraidofpodcast.com.
The Ghosts of Springs Avenue. From Mark Nesbitt's book, Ghosts of Gettysburg 8. Spirits, apparitions, and haunted places on the battlefield. Used with Mark's permission by What Are You Afraid Of? Horror and Paranormal Show, and read by David Walton. It would seem that one haunted spring of flowing water would be enough for a place the size of Gettysburg. Certainly, Spangler's Spring has its share of unexplained materializations, especially of a woman in white, some have identified as a nun from a nearby convent. Alive, she and her sisters came from Emmitsburg, Maryland, a few miles south, when they heard of the horrific battle at Gettysburg, to care for the wounded. Dead, she apparently remains bound to her never-ending duty of mercy, tending not to the physical, but to the phantom bodies of the slain around the spring named after the Spangler family. But there was another spring that gained notoriety because of the battle, and although the actual site of the spring is not known to be haunted for reasons that will be explained, locals along one of the routes to the site have reported strange, unexplainable happenings in their homes. Sometime before 1830, Reverend Charles G. McLean discovered springs of mineral water on his land located just west of Willoughby Run and south of the road to Cashtown. Knowing mineral waters were beneficial to one's health, he attempted to interest some local Gettysburg individuals in partaking of the waters. It took 3 decades and one of the greatest bloodlettings in American history before anyone took notice. It wasn't until after the Battle of Gettysburg, when rumours began to circulate of how the healing waters from the springs produced almost miraculous cures on the soldiers wounded around it on the first day of the battle, that people began to take notice of the mineral springs to the west of the town. No doubt, the extraordinary healing powers were exaggerated, but by 1868, just 5 years after the battle, an organisation called the Gettysburg Lithia Springs Association began to sell bottled water from the springs made famous by their rumoured curative powers on wounded soldiers. By 1869, resort and spa buildings had been built for visitors attracted to the springs for their health benefits. The 4-storey Wooden Springs Hotel featured a magnificent 2-storey cupola, a huge wraparound porch, a large building in back along with a kitchen, large dining room, a cotillion hall, separate parlours for men and women, and a pool room. It was listed in 1893 as one of the leading hotels in Gettysburg. A bridge was built over Willoughby Run, where Confederate soldiers once splashed across to carry trolley tracks. A horse-drawn trolley brought guests from the Gettysburg Railroad Station, out Springs Avenue, constructed specifically for that purpose, over the battlefields on Seminary Ridge to the Catalysine Springs Hotel and Spa. Along the trolley line was a roadway to accommodate carriages, and other buildings were built along the road, thought to have been summer homes of investors in the project. The spa closed in the 1890s and the hotel went bankrupt by 1901. The 50th anniversary of the Battle of Gettysburg in 1913 brought new life to the hotel structure when one entrepreneur purchased it specifically to rent accommodations to some of the large numbers of veterans expected to attend the festivities. After the anniversary, another attempt was made to fix up the building, which was spending more time abandoned than occupied. The renovations proved too costly, and the immense structure was left to house just a single caretaker. On December 17, 1917, just before noon, a fire broke out. The large hallways were blamed for helping to create a draft for the flames, and the entire wooden structure was consumed in just half an hour. In 1948, the land that had been occupied by the Springs Hotel, Spa, and adjunct structures was encompassed by a private golf course, which would later become the Gettysburg Country Club. Its most famous golfer would be President Dwight D. Eisenhower. In the spring of 2011, the National Park Service acquired the country club land across which Confederate units attacked Union soldiers on July 1, 1863, during the opening phases of the three-day battle. Though some historians believe that modern duffers may have taken divots where the bodies of unknown and forgotten soldiers lay buried, most of the ghost stories from the area come from the houses along Country Club Lane, Hospital Woods west of the lane, and Springs Avenue. Perhaps golfers are too distracted to notice wispy figures floating across a fairway. Though the trolley line is long gone, Springs Avenue remains as one of the more beautiful streets in Gettysburg. Broad, with beautifully kept large homes, Springs Avenue branches from Buford Avenue past the old Mead School, now restored as a boutique hotel called the Federal Point Inn, up Seminary Ridge to the Lutheran Theological Seminary. Yet the peacefulness of one of the lovelier residential areas in Gettysburg belies the fury of the conflict that once inundated the place. On the morning of July 1, 1863, Union troops of the 1st Corps, led by Major General John F. Reynolds, rushed near the future vicinity of Springs Avenue, over Seminary Ridge, and directly into battle a few hundred yards beyond. Less than an hour later, Reynolds would be brought back along virtually the same route, a corpse. Within minutes of his arrival, he became the highest-ranking Union officer to die. Later in the afternoon, the Union lines, assailed from three sides, would collapse and their retreat turn into a rout as whooping, victorious Confederates would crest the ridge and swarm down upon them, all heading towards the centre of town, then southward to Cemetery and Culp's Hills, beyond the town. One must wonder, could it be the spectral remnant of some of the soldiers who expended so much energy to escape, then were slain for their efforts, that remains to bother some modern residents? One family seemed particularly perturbed by unexplainable events in their Springs Avenue home. Lights in the house appear to be particularly affected. The entire family has noticed that certain lights will come on by themselves. Especially odd is a strange, eerie light in the basement. A family member will look into the cellar and see a light brighten, then dim. As they begin to descend into the cellar, it appears to be moving around, floating, as some in the family have described it. During renovations to the house, 3 family members were in the dining room. Some boards had been removed in the nearby closet floor, and they could look straight down into the basement. The mother had the best view into the hole, and was shocked at what she could see. A light float by the hole. Trying to relegate it to her imagination, she was resigned, until she saw it go by again. The others were concerned at her reaction, until they all saw it a third time. Shocked, frightened, not knowing what this mysterious light meant, they ran out of the house and locked the door. Once outside, their attention was drawn to the turret adorning the roof of the house. There, in the now empty house in the turret room, they all saw the shadow of a man apparently watching them. Though they've gotten used to sharing the house with the dead from another era, there are times when they will leave the house, checking to make sure all the lights are off, come back and find that pesky light in the basement on. The mother reported that one time she was working on the floor with her back to the door and had that strange but all too familiar feeling that someone was looking at her. She turned, expecting to see her husband or sons, but no one was there. At least, not at first. She returned to her task, but within a few minutes felt it again. To her shock, out of the corner of her eyes, she saw a man watching her. She stood to confront him, and he rudely vanished. Recently, she was looking through some old books and was shocked to see the man looking back at her from the pages of photographs. He was a fairly well-known historical figure from Gettysburg and the early Lutheran seminary, the builder and original owner of the house. She is certain he is the man she saw watching her while she worked. One of the sons was working on a ladder. At first he thought someone was playing a prank because someone bumped into him. Preparing to accuse his brother for such a dangerous joke, he was stopped short. A glance down revealed there was no one visible nearby. Mark Nesbitt. Mark worked for the National Park Service, NPS, as a ranger/historian for 5 years. He then became a licensed battlefield guide. His job with the NPS provided him not only the opportunity to spend time in all of the historic buildings in the Gettysburg National Park, but to actually live in 4 of them. Mark started his own research and writing company in 1977. He did research and advertising copy for some of America's best historical artists. Being a resident of Gettysburg for over 30 years has provided Mark with a unique insider perspective. And make sure to visit their shop in Gettysburg for books and ghost tours. Check out the website at ghostsofgettysburg.com.
What are you afraid of?
Hi, I'm Tim Waggoner, Bram Stoker award-winning author.
Hashtag Grave Girls.
This is Katrina Weidman of Destination America's Paranormal Lockdown.
This is Jim Chambers. I'm the author of The Engines of Sacrifice.
This is Jasper Barr, award-winning author of The Final Cut.
And you're listening to What Are You Afraid Of?
What Are You Afraid Of?
To What Are You Afraid Of?
What are you afraid of?
Love it. Fantoxic, please. Fantoxic.
What Are You Afraid Of? Horror and Paranormal Show is an eclectic audio magazine created by the authors T. Fox Dunham and Bill Thomas that explores everything dark, strange, paranormal, and creative through ghost stories, fiction, conversation, music, humor, and interviews with authors, filmmakers, crafters, historians, and paranormal investigators. We also create a series of author events.
We are both published authors, interested in a variety of topics, exploring the darkness through produced segments of the subject of horror, the paranormal, the art of writing, and noir, anything dark. Topics better enjoyed at night.
We do the show to promote our published work, and we support other artists and authors with the show. We entertain to reach out to new readers.
Fox and I record the show in the city of Philadelphia, and we are often on location in haunted sites and artist events. Listen to over 120 episodes on Para X Radio on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also find the show on most major podcast services including iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, and many more. Or you can check out our expanded content, ghost story archives, links, interviews, and articles on our website at www.whatayouafraidofpodcast.com.
Email your true paranormal experiences to whatareyouafraidof117@gmail.com to be produced into narrated segments by our voice actors, or contact us through the website at www.whatayouafraidofpodcast.com, where you can find guidelines about our ghost story submissions. We don't judge. Our mission is to tell a good story.
What are you afraid of? Horror and Paranormal Show.
Because it's more fun to play in the dark.
I'm Jenna Valadez with the Basement Files. Tune in Friday nights, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Para X Radio Network.
We're back.
Yeah, we are back.
What Are You Afraid Of? Episode 118. Those were The Ghosts of Summer on Spring Avenue. That was part 1, read by our wonderful David Walton. Thank you, David.
Thank you very much, sir.
He is wonderful, and The wonderful David Walton's wonderful, and
The wonderful David Walton is wonderful.
He's narrating a bunch of stuff for us, and we really appreciate everything he's done for the show.
Should we introduce him like that from now on? The wonderful David Walton.
The wonderful David, wonderful Walton.
Yeah.
The wonderful Walton.
The wonderful Walton.
Wonderful Walton. And of course, on Second Life, you can find him as his alter ego, where I first met him, Brendan Shoreland.
Okay.
Wonderful singer.
Oh, Second Life, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ways to hang out there.
I've heard a lot about that. I've never played it, but I know there's vampires in it. You can be a vampire. You can.
I love the live music.
Okay.
It was like going to a live concert every hour, and there were some talented people.
Really?
And they could make money there. You could, if you had enough of a following and got paid and got tips, you could make about $2,000 or $3,000 a month.
No.
Yeah, they did.
No.
They did.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's all they did was play on Second Life.
Wow. Well, I guess if you're going to be on it that long, you might as well make some money at it,
and
right?
if you're popular enough and good enough, you can make a living off. I know I used to run venues.
Did you?
I used to help at a club called Guthrie's.
Really?
And I used to set up my own charity events for Halloween and Christmas, and a lot of money for various cancer support societies.
Oh, that's great. So you did make some money off Half-Life.
Yeah, I would donate it mostly, but I would generate money for charities.
Donate to, that's great.
That was a lot of fun.
That's great. And are you still on
No,
Half-Life?
not really.
You don't do it no more?
No, I'm just too busy now.
I know what you mean. You could technically go back on, but
it's there.
You might get stuck down the rabbit hole.
No, Allison keeps me pretty busy these days.
That's what I mean. If you went back on, you might get stuck down the rabbit, and
Yeah, but this is episode 118. This is Fox.
This is Phil.
We're at Monsters of Summer on Parax Radio Friday nights Eastern Time. And check out our website at www.whatayouafraidofpodcast.com for more information on this show, plus all 118 shows, plus our archive of ghost stories. I just added 5 more.
Right.
With David Walton, our various voice actors narrating it. Yeah. Plus expanded content, new interviews and articles that you can't find on the show itself, you can find at the website.
Yeah, and I just came from Barnes & Noble, and Bill was not there. I was really shocked.
He's at the store.
He's what?
He just sent me a picture of one of those cleaning robots coming down the aisle.
Yeah, the robots. The Giant. Yeah. Giant has them.
The Daleks.
Yeah.
Exterminate. He sent a picture and he said, help.
It's coming after me. You know what? These things attacked my cart at least 3 times in the last couple months. God, bumped into my cart.
See, this is what I mean. Writers, we've been warning you as authors for years not to let them in. Yet it's inevitable.
Yeah.
It's like the doctor said on that, Peter Capaldi, he said, it's just inevitable, like sewage or Donald Trump.
Right.
The robots are going to take over.
They're going to.
We just have to work it out of our systems.
Yeah, I mean, do we not need people to sweep the floors there anymore, or do they take that job?
They've taken the job. Yes, and they don't work. It just doesn't work.
The robots they don't just sweep at a certain time. They just sweep nonstop. They just constantly are going
and
around.
look for spills. Yeah.
The store,
Mm-hmm. Like a little robot vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, these things are fairly new.
Yeah, they are.
I haven't seen that. I've only been recently seeing them. And I've only seen them in Giant, though, so I don't know where else they are.
They're going to take over.
They're going to be in every store now. Oh, God.
And guess what? Holy pink rubber nose, Batman. We got more clown news.
Holy pink rubber nose. Pink foamy rubber nose.
Yes, exactly. This is our 3rd week in a row. It does seem like the clowns are making a comeback.
Yeah, and you know why? They're hearing us talk about them.
That's it. Oh,
that's what it is.
We're the problem.
We are the culprits.
Oh no! Either they're going to come to murder us, or they're going to make us their kings, the clown kings.
I don't know how I feel about being a clown king.
I don't want it.
No,
not for me. Cue the jingle.
Clown news.
Thank you, imaginary clown news jingle guy. I do love that jingle.
Oh, it's great.
It's one of my favorite things about the show. So, Clarksville, Tennessee. Couple of kids called the cops, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a man in a creepy clown outfit, and he was supposedly luring them to his car. This was on May 9th.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
What?
And he had candy. He's like, come on, kids, I've got some candy for you.
Oh, it's creepy.
Yeah, creepy, isn't it? So, they run, which is what you're supposed to do, apparently, when someone lures you to your car, and when you see a clown in general. That's what I'm being told. So they called the police. The police go and investigate, and it turns out it was just some older guy. Every year on his birthday, he dresses up as a clown and gives out candy.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. Like, when the police were investigating, they walked around looking to places where he frequents.
Mm-hmm.
They verified what he was doing, right?
Right.
And he's just this nice guy that dresses up as a clown on his birthday, and he gives out candy.
What? I mean, that's nice. I mean, it's very nice of him to do that. Nice. You know, as long as he has no, ulterior motive for doing that.
Well, who knows what's in the candy?
Right. That's true.
Right, but it's, and so basically they reported on the website, on their Facebook page, and it looks like the cops were having some fun with this because people got a little hysterical, and they went, "Everyone can breathe." We've solved the mystery of the clown guy. He's actually very nice. It was his birthday. Yeah, I kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah, me too. He's getting harassed for no reason.
Exactly. He wants to give out. I mean, there was a time when a clown giving out candy, every kid in the neighborhood would go running over.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
Yeah.
Certainly changed.
There was a report done by Vox. It turns out that 42% of people are scared of clowns. Which means that's more people scared of clowns than global warming.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy when you think about it. It's true though. I've met a few people in my life that have been, really afraid of clowns. One in particular who I knew years ago. I mean, she was definitely afraid of clowns. I mean, you couldn't even. I mean, you couldn't even show a picture of it. Yeah, you couldn't. I don't understand that. I mean, it's not really doesn't scare me or anything.
It has something to do.
Some people just can't do that. The movie It or the book It. They just can't do it.
It's the idea.
Pennywise.
So much of our brains are devoted to recognizing faces. Mm-hmm. And then when you cover it with makeup and other things and hide those emotions, there's something that just clicks in your brain going, this isn't right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's really what it is. It's brain chemistry. But
why just clowns? I mean, shouldn't these particular set of people have the same reaction when it comes to masks or things like that?
And you see, and in that case, I think there's an inborn clown fear given at birth or around there.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like kids go to a circus. They don't understand what's going on. Mm-hmm. They see these horrible things in red paint coming at them.
Right? Yeah. And there's too many of them coming out of a car at once. How is that possible?
Yeah, exactly. I was always terrified.
How did 30 of them just come out of that little car?
Okay, I wasn't terrified. I was bored.
You were bored, okay.
I was bored. I guess our generation has more sophisticated tastes than just...
Yeah. I was taken to Ringling Brothers Circus when I was a kid, and I mean, I didn't really think much of the clowns or whatever, but they decided to take me and a few of my friends that I was with up in front of the entire place.
You, huh?
With these, me, with these clowns that were there. And I remember just standing there being terrified, not so much with the clowns, but I was not used to being in front of
the center of attention,
thousands of people staring at me.
Damn those clowns.
I know, and it was their fault. You know?
But that's our clown things. What are you afraid of?
Yes. And I was mentioning something to you earlier. I haven't watched the movie, but there was a movie I came across on Amazon Prime called Funland.
It's an old one.
It's an old 87, from 1987. It's about a clown at a carnival who goes on a rampage. Because I believe he gets fired. Management's laying off a lot of the employees, and he gets disgruntled and takes revenge.
So, wow.
You know what? I'm going to watch it between this episode and the next one. And next episode I'll come back and let you know what I think.
What was that one movie, Funhouse?
Funhouse, yeah.
Yeah, he was wearing a mask, he was killing all the kids.
Funhouse was Toby Hooper.
Yeah. Okay. And he was actually some sort of genetic aberration that was born.
Yeah.
And they had like his brothers and sisters in bell jars with like pickle juice.
Yeah, it was real.
That was a classic.
I love the movie. Actually, I just watched it about 3 months ago.
Did you just watch one?
I watched it again, yeah.
Wow.
I haven't seen it in a long time. My buddy has it on Blu-ray, so we watched it.
Okay.
And it's a really good one. It's a really good one. I forgot how good that movie actually is. And I like Toby Hooper. He did Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Okay. And he did Poltergeist.
Right.
Yeah, so same director.
We were going to talk about themes in horror movies, so we're kind of getting on clowns and other things. It's something we can save for another episode, I'm thinking.
Okay.
We can do a little research, but it's just so many horror themes in movies that have come out in the 80s are very important. Like you're talking about Funland, and that's a guy that gets fired, and he comes back to kill management. I think that's very much a comment on the economic situation of the 80s.
Absolutely.
And finally, a lot of these slasher films are revenge movies.
Oh, that's what they are, yeah.
Freddy was avenging himself on the parents who murdered him.
Yeah, set him on fire, yeah.
Jason was avenging his death through negligence on the camp counselors.
Mm-hmm. What?
And it's always, and then you've got the movie you're talking about, he's avenging the loss of his job and identity.
Yeah. You want to know what's an odd theme, though?
Okay.
In the original Halloween, what is Michael Myers avenging?
His sister. He's going to kill his sister because his parents picked her over him.
Okay, alright.
So that's sibling rivalry.
Okay.
Yet again, neglect in some form, where his parents just locked him up, and he always saw her as the golden child, the one that got the love and attention. So, yet again, sibling rivalry.
Okay, alright.
It's always the case of the two twins, where the evil twin is cast away in the attic, and the good twin doesn't know the evil twin exists.
Because I never really figured out why. I mean, Carpenter never shows. Mm-hmm. He just kills her in the beginning, and that was it.
Well, when you make a sister and a brother, it's sibling rivalry in horror.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's basically where you're at. But this is a cool topic I want to talk about more in the future. Something interesting that I picked up when I was looking at news. So there was a farmer in Nebraska, right?
Okay.
He was now. We're talking about the fields of Nebraska. It's wide open.
Right.
You could scream and no one would hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I've not tested this, but, this is what I hear. So he's out alone. He doesn't bring a cell phone, right?
All right.
He was 63 years old. He's working, he's harvesting corn, and he sticks his foot in a hole, and it turns out to be a grain auger.
Oh.
The machine clamps on it.
Oh, okay.
He can't get it free.
Oh.
He's bleeding, right?
Uh-huh.
It's not looking good. He's about to pass out.
Mm-hmm.
He has his pocket knife on him.
Oh, God.
Do you know what he does?
I think I have an idea of where this is going, so, yeah.
He apparently cut off his leg with his pocket knife.
Uh-huh, okay.
About a couple weeks ago, he said he didn't have his phone, and he was getting blood loss, he was getting a funny feeling. He started cutting through his tendons. Hopefully, the grip on it was like nerve blocking and blocking blood. And he just cut off his phone. And then he apparently staggered back to the house to call for help.
Jeez. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. It's like that movie with James Franco. What's it called?
Where he's stuck in like that
100-something hours or something.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and he cuts his own arm off with a penknife. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's based on a true story.
Okay, you see, I read this story, and at first I was horrified by it. I mean, what would you do if you were out there, and you could have died if you didn't cut your own foot?
I think it's better to cut off your own foot than to die, because first of all, today, especially nowadays, you can get a prosthetic foot now.
Yeah.
And easily, it's not like you're going to be bound to a wheelchair, you can still walk around.
Mm-hmm. No.
Whereas years ago, you're stuck.
I gotta call shenanigans. I know this was CNN, but these kind of urban legends pop up once in a while.
Right.
Ask a doctor what would happen if you cut off your leg and tried to get back to your farm that's like 2 miles away. Walking with all that blood loss.
He would probably, wow.
Yeah, you see what I mean?
Did he wrap a bell around his foot
I don't know.
Or something?
He doesn't say. I hope he did. He was thinking he could have tightened like a tourniquet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, so I'm not sure. Maybe he just cut off a part of his leg to slip it out.
Right.
That kind of thing. But I'm not sure if he could, just getting a penknife through the bone.
Oh, man.
Would be remarkably difficult. I can't believe he wouldn't have passed out from the pain.
Oh.
You see, there it is. You can't even think about it without, feeling a little nauseous there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if I buy this.
Okay, yeah.
Urban legends happen. They get into the news.
Well, it takes, now, in the Franco movie, it took him a long time to do that. Not just an hour. It took days.
Yes, it does.
Just
creepy.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah. But that was, I guess that's farmer amputating leg news.
Okay. More of that to come. In later episodes.
Episode 118.
More farmer amputating leg episodes.
Monsters of Summer. Apparently in this case it's a grain auger.
Right.
He's eating his leg. On Parax Radio on Friday nights.
Grain auger news.
9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Grain auger news. That's it. We're going to have more of that. So, we're going to play a story that I did, called Reality TV. It's a dark science fiction story. David Walton's reading, our wonderful David Walton.
Yes.
And then we're going to play an old song from a great group that we've worked with before called the Zombie Dandies. called Now a Nuclear Animal Rules, and we will be back. This is What Are You Afraid of? Paranormal Show, Parax Radio, Friday nights at 9 p.m. Check out our website at www.whatareyoufraidofpodcast.com. Reality TV.
Reality TV by T. Fox Dunham. Read by David Walton. Director Birdnest nodded as he spoke to the world-ruling Scriptwriters Guild over their direct line. Scanning spheres floated perfunctorily about the set, their lights dimmed, not broadcasting, waiting, twitching, children ravenous for action, for entertainment. Millions of scanning spheres roamed the planet, slurping up the scripted human drama. Then the spheres broadcasted 30 light-years beyond into the homes of the galactic Gruraxian Empire. Director Birdnest sighed, fiddling with his wig. He dropped the phone. His aide ran to catch it and dropped it on the receiver. The planet's ratings have dropped, he reported. Any lower and we'll be cancelled. The cast looked up from the donut table, towels on their shoulders after being in makeup. Emergency script rewrites coming, he said. You're all expected to follow them without complaint. The guards in their ebony uniforms stood at attention, holding their machine pistols at the ready, prepared to unleash a soar of bullets into the bedroom set for any cast member who defied the holy script, the will of the guild. No one dared, not after the guild put down a script revolt in Japan, removing 20,000 from the planetary cast list. The ratings spiked. The Gru wouldn't leave us to die, Solar Silvermoon said. Her ivory eyes glowed in the set lighting, the source of her name. They've been watching for 40 years now. They can't always expect us to write fresh material. Sonny Oasis took his co-star's hand, kissed her wrist, then pressed the back to his cheek. He couldn't feel it after all the plastic surgery to his face, but he remembered it felt like butterfly wings flapping on his skin. Their empire is just one giant corporation, Director Birdnest said, adjusting his wig, ruled by their balance sheet. Same old shit on that Earth show. People live, fall in love, get their hearts broken, babies die. Sonny wrapped his arms around Solar's waist, holding her close. The script had taken so much from them. At least they'd be together. He'd looked out with this script. Most of the time, co-stars scripted to marry never fell in love, just carried on with the part, the need to survive overruling their hearts. His story treatment arrived on his 16th birthday, directing his life. His mother wept for her son, demanded revolution, but the humans had their chance. His grandfather fought in the oil wars, overpopulated nations dying of thirst, no fuel to transport goods or food. Dying nations let off atomic weapons like firecrackers. If the Gru had not been watching from deep space, had not come along with their business arrangement, there'd be naught but ash. Not entertaining. He accepted his fate, buried his soul. Then he met his co-star, Solar Silvermoon. She poured into his eyes, his ears, his mouth, flowing through his arteries. The astrologer stars that fell upon him brought love. He knew she felt the same. They kissed moments before their cues, didn't require any drugs to prepare them for their lovemaking scenes. Director Birdnest recognized their love and warned them. He comprehended the nature of drama. It didn't portray happiness. Their sincerity earned them some of the highest ratings back in the Gru Empire. All the cosmos knew of their love, envied it, hoped for it to die. The GRU would just let us die, Solar said. Stop fueling the fusion reactors, stop filtering the atmosphere. That's show business, babe, Director Birdnest said. A messenger limped onto the bedroom set, handed Director Birdnest a satchel. He handed out the hastily written scripts, fresh from the pens of the guild. The red ink stained Sonny's hand bloody. We must always remember, said Director Birdnest, through our sacrifice our race will survive. Sonny scanned through the first page. Interior, Sonny and Solar's bedroom. Sonny returns home after being promoted to Senior Vice President to find Solar in bed, not breathing. He finds an empty bottle of tranquilizers on the night table. Sonny, Solar, I knew you'd been depressed since you lost the baby. God, please no, why didn't you tell me? Places, Director Birdnest said. Snowflakes danced in each of the scanning orbs, signalling a live broadcast. Sonny clenched the script, smearing the crimson ink. Let it be, Solar said. I'll sleep. I'll be with our daughter. We've lived a true dream in spurious dreaming. Let it end while we're happy. They took their places. He stood on his mark at the bedroom door. The prop handler put a bottle of Valium on the night table. Solar slipped a pill free and aimed it at her lips. Action, said Director Birdnest. It's not enough, Sonny said, ignoring his lines. He broke from his mark and ran into the bedroom set. He slapped the pill from her hand. Just surviving. Cut, Director Birdnest said. But the snowflakes kept dancing in the scanning spheres. They continued to broadcast out into the void. You'll end us, Director Birdnest said. She's my world. Across the set, Sonny heard the simultaneous click of the guards turning off the safeties on their machine pistols, sounding like 12 clocks striking 12. All the world's a stage, Director Birdnest quoted. And the dialogue was written by a hack, Sonny said. I'd rather die than read it. He swept Solar into his arms, pressed her lithe body to his chest. The ratings will plummet. The GRU will cancel the show. Your death will be just the first of millions, said Director Birdnest. Guards? The direct line to the guild buzzed, cutting off Director Birdnest. He waved a finger for the guards to hold their fire. He juggled the phone to his ear. Insane, he said. Reality television? He hung up. Congratulations, cast of the Sonny and Solar show. Seems the GRU like our new format. They've ordered the guild dissolved. True life, it seems, is more compelling. So we're changing our programming to reality TV.
Time for you to play the fool. Now, nuclear Mercy, a new horror medical thriller from author T. Fox Dunham, published by Bloodbound Books. Based on the author's horrific battle with a rare form of lymphoma that involved intense chemotherapy and radiation, Fox turns the horror of his experience into terror on the page.
William Saint is dying of cancer. On most days, death seems like a humane alternative to the treatment. Stricken with fever, William is rushed to Mercy. Notorious is a place to send the sickest of the poor and uninsured to be forgotten, and finds the hospital in even worse condition than his previous visit.
Willie's memories faded. He grabbed his sack head of the scarecrow, picking at the exposed chicken wire to hold them in. However, the memories fell out of the holes in his face. They wormed and crawled from the leather flesh and the old clothing of the scarecrow, then squirmed and wiggled down his body.
The grounds are unkempt, the foundation is cracking, and like the wild mushrooms sprouting from the fissures of decay around it, something is growing inside the hospital. Something dark.
FANGORIA gives Mercy 3.5 out of 4 skulls. Dunham has channeled his many brushes with the other side into the exquisitely rendered, lyrical, supernatural hospital thriller Mercy.
It's feeding on the sickness and sustaining itself on the staff, changing them, and now it wants Willie.
Come now, Mr. Saint. Just a little more of that sweet milk. So salty and so good. You won't miss it. And we ever do so like our delicacies here at Mercy Hospital.
Part medical horror, part supernatural suspense, Mercy is a hard-hitting fever dream of a novel. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Tim Waggoner, author of The Way of All Flesh and Eat the Night. Available from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and bookstores everywhere in both print and digital versions.
Life is an addiction.
Let go. Let it all burn.
In the future, roving bands of comic book podcasts will savage the wasteland, once known as the Internet. One podcast, the Grawlix Podcast, may not be the biggest, may not be the funniest, may not be the most well-spoken. Wait, what was my point again? Oh yes, the Grawlix Podcast. Listen to it at grawlixpodcast.com. That's GRAWLIX podcast.com.
Sweet Amityville, Phil. These are trying times for the supernatural and paranormal. So many TV shows and podcasts. In time like these, we need more horror hosts like Shauna and Vicky on Geeks Paranormal on Parax Radio on Wednesday nights.
Gosh, Fox, you are so right. I love those geeks. Shauna and Vicky. Does geek stand for something?
You know it, my creepy companion. Geek stands for General Ectoplasm Exposition Knowledge Society.
Wow. Do they speak to inspirational ghosts and give information on hauntings around the world?
Do demons vomit pea soup? That's Vicky and Shauna. They are the go-to ladies of the paranormal. I'd trust them to investigate anything.
Oh, I know. Why, if we were abducted by UFOs and taken into space for probing, I want Sean and Vicky to save us from some X-Files action.
Some extraordinary X-Files action. And if Bigfoot abducted us, stole us away to some remote Yeti cave, and forced us into making venison and pine needles ectoplasm pie with a dash of banshee wailing, I'd want Sean and Vicky to give us the recipe for some good old ectoplasm pie.
Now, that would be some peppery paranormal pie.
Yum.
And if we were possessed by a horde of hell demons, guess who had one exorcising the spirits?
Shauna and Vicky, am I right?
Damn skippy, foxy lad.
Listen to those wonderful hosts of the Paranormal on Parax Radio at 9 p.m. on Parax Radio, exploring the paranormal with the geeks.
We're Phil and Fox on What Are You Afraid Of? Horror and Paranormal Show on Parax Radio on Friday nights at 9 p.m.
Your source for everything paranormal. Parax.
Hi, I'm David Walton, and I drop whatever I'm doing to read whatever Fox and Phil demand of me. My digital, as opposed to ectoplasmic alter ego, is called Brendan Shawland, who regularly plays guitar and sings in a virtual world. Brendan has a website, David doesn't. Bandcamp sales figures would suggest that Brendan's music is decidedly niche. If you want to be in the vanguard of support as Brendan heads towards global domination, just put Brendan Shawland in your favourite search engine, and you'll find his website very close to the top. You'll see what the human looks like, and you can check out the Listen to a Song page to access Brendan's unwillingly private world of creative output.
So, the zombie dandies.
And I love that story of yours, reality TV.
Thank you.
That was really good.
Fun little piece.
Yeah.
I had it recorded a little while back. thought I'd throw it in. It's an interesting episode, Monsters of Summer.
Yeah.
We're all about the darkness.
Absolutely. And when did you write that?
Oh, that was about 4 years ago.
You wrote that long ago, really? Okay.
It's been published a few times.
Okay.
Back when I was spitting out flash fiction. Like one of those newspaper presses that just rolls along and along.
it was just coming out every day, every week, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Fun. So we had a wonderful ghost story from Mark Nesbitt, Ghost of Spring Avenue. We're going to play part 2 soon. And reality television, fiction, talking about some clowns and farmers cutting off their legs. And so Amazon Echoes are picking up EVPs.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. For people who want to know what an EVP is, if you don't know, it's an electric voice phenomena. Electronic devices can pick up noises that people can't hear with their ears, and paranormal investigators use them to pick up the voices of the dead.
Wow, yeah. So, so in what capacity are the Alexas doing this?
So this lady was hanging out. She put on music. She was cleaning or something, and she was listening to it on her Amazon Echo device. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, the music goes quiet, and she hears her voice of her sister going, "Hello, hello," calling out her name.
Mm.
The voice, she said, was soft and non-mechanical. So it wasn't Alexa. It definitely sounded like her sister.
Okay.
It said, "Hello, hello." And now that's it. And then the husband comes home, and he says, "I came up within 30 seconds of hearing it, and I have to admit there were uncharacteristic chills in the kitchen, in the air." Yeah.
That's weird. No, see, I wasn't, that's what I asked you, in what capacity, because I wasn't sure if the spirits were giving Alexa commands.
Yeah.
Alexa, play this song, and then all of a sudden the song
My God.
Yeah.
The spirits could talk to Alexa and tell it what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's what I was just wondering. Yeah.
That'd make a cool story.
Wouldn't it? Yeah.
So Alexa, or we could be like, "Alexa, ask my sister in heaven how she's doing."
Yeah. Yeah.
Voices of the dead in Alexa.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we could be inviting this mechanism into our homes to let ghosts communicate with us and interact with our environment.
Right. Alexa hears the commands from the spirits, but we don't. Yeah.
Wow. So if your Alexa goes off the wall one day and plays a song that your dead father used to love, maybe it is your father communicating with you.
Yeah.
Well, that's creepy.
Yeah, it's weird because I have an Alexa right in the living room.
Okay.
And there's many times where my Alexa will just give answers.
Oh,
for
wow.
no apparent reason.
You think something's
I'm not
asking
even talking, and it just, I'm like, what in the heck is wrong with this thing? And I am not joking.
I believe
it happens often.
And you're wondering if now the ghosts of the dead are asking Alexa questions.
Yeah. I mean, it happens at least once a month, I would say. Once or twice a month.
Now,
Yeah.
you know if the Alexa says, "Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice," to get the hell out of there.
Right. Yeah,
There's all sorts of striped things are going to happen with Tim Burton,
Oh man, now you're making me want to watch that movie.
They're working on a sequel.
No, really?
Yes, they are.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad. That's Michael Keaton?
Apparently so, yeah.
That's awesome. I hope so. That would be awesome.
Before we go today, on episode 118, there's been a problem on Parax Radio with some guests giving out tirades and rants about the owners of Parax, and we want to have our own rant. And I just want to say that Eric and Rebecca have been wonderful. They've been wonderful, damn it.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
I'm so mad with joy with how cool they've been.
Yep.
Eric and Rebecca Brumble, owners of Parax Radio, and our fine managers whom we serve with dignity and conscience. Thank you, Eric and Rebecca.
Thank you very much, both of you.
And Barbara Duncan, too. Ceiling Cat.
Ceiling Cat,
yeah. She's there for us. But what a wonderful couple of hosts and friends they've been, and it's wonderful watching the adventures of their daughter, Olivia, and my wife loves watching Olivia on Facebook too.
Right.
But that's our little rant.
That's our little rant, yes.
Well, we're just about done on episode 118 of Monsters of Summer. Phil, did you have fun?
I had a great time. Did you?
I had fun too.
Yeah.
It's been a great episode. We had Mark Nesbitt's Ghost of Spring Avenue, Clown News, Now a Nuclear Animal Rules from Zombie Dandies, and check out our website at www.whatayouafraidofpodcast.com for more ghost stories and articles and every episode, all 118.
That's a lot.
And we'll be back with Elka Park on next episode. So, I'm Pete Box Dunham.
And I'm Phil Thomas.
Wonderful Walton, Pink Rubber Nose Batman. T. Fox Dunham lives in Philadelphia with his wife Allison. He's a lymphoma survivor, cancer patient, modern bard, and historian. His first book, The Street Martyr, was published by Gutter Books. A major motion picture based on the book is being produced by Throughline Films. Destroying the Tangible Illusion of Reality or Searching for Andy Kaufman, a book about what it's like to be dying of cancer, was recently released from Perpetual Motion Machine Publishing, and Fox has a story in the next Stargate anthology from MGM and Fandemonium Books, Points of Origin. Fox is an active member of the Horror Writers Association, and he's had published hundreds of short stories and articles. His motto is Wrecking Civilization, one story at a time.
Phil Thomas is an author and screenwriter from the suburbs of Philadelphia. His screenplays have been produced into feature films False Face and Always from Darkness, and are available in major retailers such as Best Buy and Target, as well as availability on Netflix and Amazon On Demand. His short films can be viewed on his YouTube channel, Film Zero Presents. He is a member of the International Association of Professional Writers and Editors, and he currently writes for Cultured Vultures, Game Skinny, and BloodyDisgusting.com.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.